What a story. Huge legal news from the Supreme Court yesterday. The Supreme Court has ruled that religious clothing at work is a right. There's a Muslim woman who sued the retailer, Abercrombie and Fitch, which we've talked about in the past, when the store did not hire her because she wore a hijab, a headscarf, in observance of her Muslim religion. This reached the Supreme Court, which has now ruled in favor of the woman by an 8-1 vote that the company failed to accommodate Samantha Eloff's religion and her religious needs when she was not hired on the basis that her hijab violated company dress policy. The case dates all the way back to 2008, when then 17-year-old Samantha wanted to work at Abercrombie and Fitch. Prior to the interview, she was nervous that maybe she's not going to be hired because of the black headscarf that she wears for religious reasons. So she interviews with the assistant manager, Heather Cook, and Heather Cook says that she was told that Heather Cook said to her, listen, the company policy is you should not wear a lot of makeup, you should not wear a lot of nail polish or black clothing, but that the headscarf never came up. After the interview, the assistant manager looks to get approval from her district manager, and she said she was told she says she told the manager that she assumes Eloff was Muslim and figured that she wore the headscarf for religious reasons, although it was never discussed. The manager said Eloff should not be hired because the headscarf is not consistent with Abercrombie's look policy, which bans any headgear. This case has so many huge implications. It is very, very complicated. I can honestly convince myself of either side on this issue, because on the one hand, let's analyze both sides of this. If you think about this as a religious issue, right? Giving special rights to religion over secularism when a business might have a dress code or a uniform is discrimination or exemptions based on religion, which would implicitly discriminate against those who are secular. So if you go into Abercrombie, Lewis, and you say, my religion says that I wear a headscarf, and Abercrombie says, okay, because it's a religious piece of clothing, you're allowed to wear it, even though it violates our dress code. And then Joe the atheist goes in and says, listen, I'm not religious, but my preference would be to wear this other thing on my head, this type of hat, because you know what? I have, like my hair is really just looking weird. I'm starting to go bald and I'd rather wear this hat or something like that. And Abercrombie says, no, that's just not our policy. Our policy is that you wear this. You are, based on religion, discriminating against the non-religious, and that's a very dangerous thing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could look at it that way. It's it's a complicated issue, isn't it? Because uh, a lot of people would say that's not discrimination. A lot of people would say there's no religious affiliation in that case. And if that's the case, how could you call it discrimination?
Well, because you are discriminating against those who can't justify what it is they want to wear with so-called religious beliefs, which are completely self-professed. So that's dangerous. But on the other hand, Lewis, which I think is somewhat what you're getting at, employers shouldn't be able to consider someone's religion in hiring them, because that's also discrimination. If as an employer you say, I have two candidates here, I'm going to choose not to hire the religious one because there is this baggage that comes attached with them with regard to what they're going to wear or whether they're going to need special breaks to pray or whatever it is, that would also be discrimination. So I agree with what many secularists are saying, that the Supreme Court establishing that religion gets exemptions from labor law based on arbitrary self-professed religious beliefs, that's problematic. What if an Orthodox Jew wants to work at Abercrombie and they say, listen, I can't wear any of your stuff. I have to wear my yarmulke. And if you're a Satmar Jew, I'm going to wear my big hat over it, and I'm going to wear my tallis, and I dress in an all-black suit, and I need to have 4 breaks to pray, right? How far are we going to take this and still hold the employer responsible for not being accommodating enough? But at the same time, if you say there is no right to religious clothing at work, all of a sudden you are allowing businesses to do what Abercrombie allegedly did, which is to say, hey, their religion makes them not compliant with what it is we want in an employee. It's discrimination both ways.
And now we're getting into Rand Paul territory, right? Should businesses be able to do whatever they want in cases like this? Maybe it should only apply to clothing, to dress. I don't know. We are getting into a slippery slope here.
No question about it. So ultimately, what is going to happen? I don't know. This could set a very dangerous precedent. Either way, 8-1, a very one-sided Supreme Court decision. Send me your thoughts on this one. We will continue discussing this.